Normally, when talking about the revolutions of anime, it has nothing to do with crime, but a subculture exists with an unprecedented origin. The infamously mind-bending, gory genre known as Denpa. This all began on February 11, 1952, in Oda, Ibaraki Prefecture, where Kawamata Gunji, who will be referred to as K from this point on, was born. From the start, there were always problems, stemmed from K and his 4 other siblings having faced economic hardship. His early life is defined by the sudden change in course where, after graduating from Municipal Junior High School in 1967, he decided to move to Tokyo for a job. His early days in Tokyo were tough in the hustle of the city, but he found himself employed in the world of sushi, where he worked as an apprentice in a tsukiji restaurant. However, his employment was short-lived, and he would drift through jobs in sushi restaurants and transportation companies. His struggle turned into trouble when he faced imprisonment for extortion and assault in 1972. This gave birth to a cycle of facing the legal system. In 1975, he was released from prison. An attempt at rebuilding his life ends fruitless when he loses his temporary job as a driver and brushes with the law persisted. This ushered in a new darker age for K. He involved himself with the criminal underworld in addition to what would lead to a descent into addiction to stimulants. In 1980, K's life continued spiraling away with the escalation of legal troubles, arrests, and his addiction, including a charge for drunk driving. By this point, all of his attempts at stability frayed away. He was imprisoned again, where he was released in 1981. The Limit. March 21, 1981 marks the endpoint and culmination of his descent into madness. He bought a yanagiba knife, a traditional Japanese knife used for filleting and slicing sashimi, with the aspiration of becoming a sushi chef. K worked at 7 different sushi restaurants between the 25th of March to the 13th of June of the same year. He was fired after short periods of time because of his inferior technique and attitude towards his colleagues and customers. In this situation, facing financial desperation, his hallucinations intensified. K's justification of this was that he ended up in this state because a high-ranking official was behind the scenes and sent radio waves to his head. He then made a decision which would tarnish the streets of Morishita and any chance of redemption. On the 16th of June, from 11:35 to 11:40 a.m., armed with his knife, K's initial rampage lasted. In front of the Roll Coffee shop, he used his knife to stab repeatedly a passerby mother and her 2 children aged 3 and 1. Then on the street in front of Makaweya Iwanaga liquor store, he stabbed a 33-year-old woman to death, leaving a total of 4 victims dead. However, these weren't the only victims. About 22 and 15 meters west of Makaweya Iwanaga liquor store, he attacked a 39-year-old housewife, thrusting it through her abdomen, in addition stabbing to another 79-year-old woman. After his first 6 victims, K noticed his knife's blade was damaged. He knew he could not continue killing and wounding any more civilians. From 11:40 a.m., he changed his goals to holding hostages. With another victim whom he attacked, a housewife whom he grabbed by the neck with one hand and his knife in the other, he entered a Chinese restaurant called Bankai Store, which was approximately 22 meters away from the liquor store. K then barricaded themselves in the back room and threatened the life of the owner. From that point onwards until 6:49 p.m. on the same day, he confined himself and the hostage to the room. In the time period in between, K persistently assaulted and threatened the housewife by pressing a kitchen knife against their neck and cutting their back. K also kept an eye on the TV report and the confirmed result of the killings, threatening the woman that she would be the 5th person he would kill. During this point, it was noted that K made multiple incomprehensible remarks. These were statements like, "I have radio waves." Throughout the day, the police had been contacted regarding the attacks, having both of the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department's 1st Investigative Division and Fukagawa Police Station set up a headquarters at the scene within 45 minutes. In addition to this, approximately 100 investigators from the 1st Investigative Division, Fukagawa Police Station, including the police chief, rushed to the scene, and from noon, they persuaded the K to release the hostage. The arrest. At 6:55 p.m., the hostage took advantage of K and escaped, where 10 investigators took advantage of the opportunity and apprehended him. To keep K in custody, they forced a towel into his mouth to prevent suicide. Then taken to the Tokyo Police Hospital until 8:14 p.m., where he was admitted into the Fukagawa Police Station. This day has now been immortalized into the history of Japan and is known as the Fukagawa Street Murders. The trials. A reaction of stimulants was found present in the urine of K immediately after his arrest. This led to a point of contention surrounding the mental state of K and his degree of responsibility for the crime. During the legal case, 2 university professors performed psychiatric evaluations at the request of the prosecutor of the court. Both professors stated that as a result of brain damage as an infant, he became agitated over trivial things and became mad easily. They also determined that K was in a state of hallucination and delusion at the time of the crime. The first trial was held on November 24, 1981. At his arraignment, K almost admitted to the crime, but said, "For years, I had been harassed by the sound of radio waves and tapes sent by the person in charge. I wanted to end my life gracefully by killing someone." The final trial was held on November 12, 1982, where K defendant's attorney closed the argument defendant K was in a state of insanity at the time of the incident, so he should be acquitted. Even if he is guilty, he should be certified as mentally deficient, in addition to a statement of remorse towards the relatives of the deceased and to the injured. The sentencing hearing was on December 23, 1982, where K was sentenced to life in prison. During the reading of the reasons of the judgments, an onlooker shouted, "That's right, I can hear it too, the radio waves," and was forced to leave the court. Though K initially was dissatisfied with the verdict, he was convinced and did not file an appeal by the deadline. As such, his sentence of life imprisonment was finalized on January 6, 1983. Connection to anime. The one oddity to this case which was adopted into otaku culture was the concept of radio waves. The inception of the Denpa subgenre comes from K's claims of radio waves. The first emergence of Denpa in pop culture did not come until the early 1990s. The idea surrounds someone who believes they are receiving instructions, voices, or thoughts directly to their mind through electromagnetic radiation or something of the sort, which is similar to the claims that K made during his trials. The Denpa genre from this point had grown and existed in multiple different mediums like visual novels, light novels, animes, mangas, and songs. The first popular Denpa piece of media was Shizuku. However, in the following years, animes like Serial Experiments Lane came out. This evolution with time broadened the span and definition of Denpa. Nonetheless, the freakish underlying concept is what has made this genre give off such an unsettling feeling to the audience.